Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new season of Banter Bets and BPL. Liam here, and we're on the evening of the next Premier League season, 2021-2022. Super excited. We've done our fantasy drafts. We're already talking smack. I'm excited to see my guys go out there and perform. Everyone should be excited. And yeah, we got a little bit of an announcement for Banter Bets and BPL this year. A tough part last year with, I loved having Cam, Sandy, Keegan, and all our other guests on. It was very tough to get a time with all of our lives, to get a time where we can all meet together. So this year, what we're going to be doing is a little bit different. We're going to try and have some times where we're all together, but when we can't, so for example, this one right now, when we can't, I'm going to have all those guys send me their little videos of their bets for the weekend, or stuff like that, and we're just going to post small little videos or podcasts individually. So it's not going to be as much of the banter, which maybe some of you liked, maybe some of you just wanted the bets. Those would be we're going to have the banter episodes are going to be a little farther between when we can get us all together, but we're going to have bets every single weekend. It's going to be 5-10 minute mini podcasts, mini videos, just explaining our bets and why, and that'll come from each of us. So you can pick your horse to back that weekend. Whoever, you can mix and match our bets. You can fade, you can follow, you can do whatever you want, but there'll be, hopefully each weekend we'll have small little mini podcasts and mini videos for each of our bets. So for this one, this is just going to be me going through some futures bets, because I love futures bets. It makes following the Premier League season even more fun, I think. So I took a look at it's a big slate of futures. You can find all kinds of markets for the Premier League. I'd recommend putting a couple if you're into betting, and obviously don't bet any more than you can afford to lose, but I think it's fun following some futures bets. I like to have, a finger in each team's pie, so that I can kind of know who to cheer for, which players to cheer for, and kind of have some little side narratives to follow throughout the season. So yeah, that's going to be Banter Bets and BPL this year. A lot of mini videos. We're going to try and get the banter, at least once a month, where we can all come together, review the month in betting, and do that kind of thing. Have some special guests on maybe once a month, because it's kind of hard to find guests at the end of last season. So yeah, we're kind of changing it up a little bit. I think it makes it easier on us. Might be easier to listen to. You don't have to do as long of episodes, even though here I am being long-winded to start. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Now, let's get into the season bets. And this is just me. Brother Keegs and Sandy, they're a little bit more impatient. They don't like to do futures bets. Cam, I think he does a little bit, but I'm more of a futures guy. They don't want to be waiting all season for this to pay out. So these are just my bets. Now, all my bets I've done, and this might be a little bit different this year as well. But I've got 1-star, 2-star, 3-star bets just based on the unit that I'm putting on it. My 1-star bet is a $5 bet. That's more of a long shot that I'm hoping pays off. Those are going to be at bigger odds. 2-star, I'm pretty confident in it. It's usually a little bit of plus money, but I think that's where you can find some value with plus money, and I'm more confident than just a 1-star long shot bet. And then my 3-star bets are going to be those are the ones that I'm expecting to win. Those are my $20 unit. $20 unit's a lot for me, so those are the ones that I'm very confident in. And yeah, that's how I'm going to do it for this year. So my first one is to win the Premier League. This is, as if you're watching the video, you can see the jersey I'm wearing. Of course, I always like to back my boys. So United are 9.0 to win the Premier League this year. I just put a quick $5 on it, a 1-star bet. Manchester United to win the Premier League. $5 pays 45. So that's what I've got for that. I don't think they'll win, but I'm going to back my boys. I think they have a chance, and I think at 9.0, those are pretty good odds. Sancho comes flying in. Hopefully Bruno, another season better. The biggest thing, I actually buried the lead there, is we actually have Varane now, him and Maguire. I think that is a very, very good center back partnership. So we finally stabilized that a little bit. Obviously City are the team to beat, but like United were 4th in the odds behind Chelsea and Liverpool. I don't really understand that. Obviously I am biased, but we're going United 1-star bet at 9.0 to win the league. All right, here's a 3-star bet for me. And this is to win the Premier League without the big six. So not including Arsenal, Tottenham. Yes, those are still big six members according to certain betting sites. Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea. Those are the Premier League's big six teams. And this market is without those teams. Who do you think is going to finish the highest up? I've got 20 bucks on Leicester at 2.62. Leicester are better than Everton, better than Leeds, better than West Ham. They're better than Tottenham and Arsenal at this point. So the fact that they're plus money and almost 3 to 1 or almost 2 to 1, I guess, they're at 2.62. I think like Leicester's been in the top 4 for something crazy, like all except for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, the last 2 seasons, and they somehow haven't finished. They've had a good summer. They've strengthened again. Dak is coming in. I think he's going to be good. They just keep rolling every single season. They haven't lost any of their good players. This is a team on the up at 2.62 just to beat out the Evertons and teams like that. The surprise package, maybe a Villa. I think Leicester is nailed on for that. It's a very good bet, 3-star bet for me. Top goal scorer in the league, also a fun market to do. So at the top of the betting odds was Kane, Lukaku, and Salah. They're all like 5.0, close to that. I don't really like going with big favorites on that. I kind of like doing a bit of a long shot. So this is a 1-star long shot bet. I've gone for Heung-min Son at 34.0. So that $5 would pay out 170. I think Son, if Kane leaves, Son's going to be starting up front for Tottenham every game, and he's going to be their main guy to score goals. Kane won the Golden Boot playing for Tottenham last year. Obviously, they get worse if Kane lost, but Son is going to be the guy scoring. Tottenham will still be a good enough team that you can win a Golden Boot on the 6th place team. Aubameyang won with Arsenal. Like it's not impossible. So at 34.0, the Son, who even if Kane stayed, he's still going to be up there in goals. I think I don't like the fact if Kane leaves, he's going to be taking penalties probably as well. If Kane stays, it'll be tougher, but yeah, I like this bet. It's just a bit of a long shot at 34.0. I usually do at least one long shot on top goal scorer. All right, here's a 3-star bet. So it's to be relegated, and it's Norwich. They're even money. They're 1.9, so I guess slightly below even money, but it's a pick 'em whether they're going to be relegated or not. I just can't see Norwich staying up. Every time they come up, they play some decent stuff, but they're just too loose at the back and they go back down. I think the other teams that came up, Brentford and Watford, are better. I think there are some bad teams in the league that, aren't promoted teams. We'll touch on that in a little bit as well. But I think Norwich is the worst of the promoted teams. And unless all 3 promoted teams stay up, then at least one of them is going down. I think Norwich I thought these odds would be way lower or way shorter. Norwich at 1.9 to get relegated. We're going with that for sure. I got 20 bucks on that. Pays out 38, so just under even money. To finish in the top 6, again, we're going with Leicester. They're 2.1, so they're plus money to finish in the top 6. I think they easily beat out, I guess obviously this goes hand in hand with my other bet of them to finish the best outside of the big 6. They just need to beat out one of those big 6, and I don't think it'll be the top 4. I think the top 4 this season are pretty nailed on: City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea. But at plus money, yes, I'm banking on Leicester to finish ahead of either Spurs or Arsenal, maybe even both. So that's a 2-star bet for me. I'm not as confident as the other one, and the odds are a little bit shorter than the other one for Leicester, but I still like it a lot. 1-star bet to finish bottom of the Premier League. This is the team that I do not like this season. This is Crystal Palace. And I actually placed a little bet on them at the end of last season to get relegated. As soon as they said Roy Hodgson was leaving and they had like 15 players out of contract, I jumped on it. I got them at 3.5. The odds are already down to 2.75 for Palace to get relegated. So I'm feeling good about that. Them to finish bottom is 9.0. I think they're going to be bad this year. I think Eze's hurt, Hodgson left, all those things I just said. Eze's hurt for a while. Is Zaha really the talisman you want to be riding on and riding with? He's he cannot be relied upon. If I see things going south and Zaha just jumping ship and getting sold in January. I don't think he's the type of player that has too much pride in the crest. Maybe I don't mean to attack his character, but he just does not strike me as a guy who's like, I live and breathe Crystal Palace. I'm going to keep them in this division. I feel like if they get off to a bad start, he's going to pout. He's going to be unhappy. He's going to want to leave. And then they're going to have absolutely no goals. Their forwards are Ayew, Benteke, Mateta. Like, they don't have many good players at all. And a new manager who's relatively unproven, and a ton of new players because a bunch of guys left after their contracts ran out. So I think Palace is in trouble this season. I have them bottom to finish bottom at 9.0, 1-star bet, and bottom at Christmas, 1-star bet at 8.0. So if it's a bad season for them, that'll be a couple nice little paydays. So, and this was a fun market here. I like this one a lot. It's called goal scorer match bet on Bet365 there. So it just basically picks two players that they see as relatively even and who's going to score most goals this season. There's some fun ones on there. Like, I almost wanted to play a lot of them, but I found a 3-star one that I think is really good value here. It's Raul Jimenez versus Teemu Pukki. And Jimenez, so obviously I'm going 3 stars, $20 on Jimenez to score more goals than Pukki. Jimenez, obviously the injury is probably why he's even in this, because he's a much better player than Pukki. The injury last season sucked, but he's back. He's been playing well in preseason. He's like, before he got hurt, he was the only guy who scored on Wolves. And he's good for 15 goals a season for the most part. He's on a better team than Pukki. He's the guy on Norwich this year. I'm not sure Pukki has a very good season. I think they brought in Josh Sargent from Bremen, the American kid who's apparently decent. I also think Adam Ida, who was a young kid the last time they were he's still young, but he was just starting to get some looks the last time they were in the Prem. He's been playing well in preseason. I actually think he's going to be kind of a little bit of a steal if you're talking fantasy, or a bit of a breakout candidate this season. I don't think Pukki has as good a season as he did last time out, and if you remember, Pukki ended off last season not doing too well. He was more of a first half burst onto the scene, score a bunch of goals, and then fizzled out as Norwich's season did. So it's almost even money, and you're getting Jimenez versus Pukki. 3-star bet, $20. Let's go. Raul Jimenez, more goals than Pukki. So this is a 2-star, and this is a goal scorer match bet. This is Sterling versus Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane's at 2.0, and I'm taking him here because just simply Mane, there is a little bit of competition with places, but I think, with like 3 spots, they've got Salah, who's locked in, and then the other 3, Firmino, Jota, Mane, a little bit of competition. I think Firmino's the odd man out there. I think Mane bounces back. He had a bit of a bad season last year. I think he bounces back, and he's going to be playing a lot and scoring a lot of goals. Sterling had a great Euro, but he did not have a good end of last season. And the competition for places in City and the rotation that Pep does is greater than Liverpool. I think these are both similar players, but the fact that Sterling should be rotating more and Mane is better odds, and it's 2.0, so even money there. I'm taking Mane for that one, 2-star bet. Now, this is the market I love, and I place a top team goal scorer. The market is top team goal scorer. I place one for every single team because I just love every time you're watching that team, you've got, I've got a guy, I've got the top scorer, or I've got a bet on this guy to be the top scorer. So every time you're watching, you're a little bit invested more in that player. So we're just going to rip through these without too much explanation. 1-star bet, Arsenal's top scorer, Alex Lacazette. It's going to be between him and Aubameyang. Aubameyang was short odds. Lacazette's 3.0. So 5 pays out 15. So we're going Lacazette. Now this one, I don't tend to bet on juice like this, but Brentford, Ivan Toney, this is a 3-star bet. This is $20 bet to pays out 28. Not too much. You can bet bigger than that if you want. I tend to not do that, but I don't see any way that Toney isn't their top scorer. He takes the penalties. He's scored like 33 goals in the champ for them last season. So 3-star bet, Ivan Toney to be their top goal scorer. If you can parlay this with something, another future, then that would be probably best, because he's 1.4. Another thing in there in parlay that, and you get that up pretty good. Next one is also a 3-star. This is Patrick Bamford to be the Leeds top goal scorer. He's at 1.57, so maybe parlay Toney and Bamford together. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Bamford, we saw last season. He's the guy that scores their goals. He's the guy that plays up front every game. A little less confident in this one, because I think guys like Rafinha, even Rodrigo should have a bounce back season. Harrison, they're all good players, but Bamford is the goal scorer for Leeds. This might be my favorite bet. It's Bruno Fernandes to be United's top goal scorer. I had him last season. He was 6.0, easy winner. This is another 3-star play. He's 2.5. He's plus money, and he easily was the top scorer last season. You guys know how many pens he scores. He scores free kicks. He scores from open play. Bruno is the man in Manchester for Manchester United, and he's going to be their top goal scorer. $20 on that. This is even, I might even put more on this. This is a bet that I really, really like. Yes, Cavani, but Cavani is their striker, but he's going to rotate with Martial, probably Greenwood, probably Rashford, Sancho, all those guys are going to rotate. Bruno's in the team every single game. He's taking penalties. He's scoring more than anyone on that team. I love that bet. 2-star, Danny Ings to be Aston Villa top goal scorer. You're getting plus money here at 2.25. I think Ings is the central striker. He's going to play more as the striker than Watkins, who might shift out to the wing. I think he's easy. He'll probably take pens. He scores more than Watkins, unless El Ghazi's on the field. He'll take pens. That's a nice one I like as well. 2-star bet on Danny Ings to be the top team goal scorer for Villa. All right, big long shot here on a 1-star. This is Brighton's top goal scorer. I've gone for Pascal Gross. I don't love Mopai. I don't think he scored a lot. Trossard I like as a player. He's not a huge goal scorer. Gross was taking penalties towards the end of last season. And you know what? Sometimes with these small teams or these mid-table teams, you just take the penalty taker. And the fact that we're getting the penalty taker at, wait for it, 34.0 odds, that's $5 to pay out 170. That's really good value, I think. So I've gone Gross. He's not going to score a ton from open play, but this could be a guy, kind of like Jorginho was Chelsea's top scorer last year. All he scored was penalties. This could be similar to that, where penalties are enough. Maybe he gets 5 penalties and 3 open play goals, or 6 penalties and 2 open play goals. He ends up with 8, and Mopai has 7 and Trossard has 6 and whatever. So at 34.0, this is it's only a 1-star bet. Obviously at 34, like I'm not going to have anything better than 1-star, but this is one of the long shots that I do really like. Another 1-star bet and a long shot that I like, Burnley's top goal scorer, Jay Rodriguez. Chris Wood was at the Olympics. He's going to be coming in late. Obviously, Wood's the best striker, but Rodriguez, he's got a bit of a track record. He's always sticking around the Premier League, scoring goals. He had a really good season for Southampton a few years ago. He loves playing in Burnley. I think he's the second striker that plays with Wood. Could be wrong, but Rodriguez is 13.0 to be their top scorer, and I think he's a striker that'll play a lot. I think it's definitely worth a punt, a $5 punt. Chelsea's top scorer. It'll probably be Lukaku. I've gone on a 1-star punt for Kai Havertz at 6.5. Hearing a lot of good things about Havertz. Pains me to admit, because I was calling him a flop at the start of last season, but I think he'll be good this season. He plays a lot, 6.5. You guys know I hate Chelsea, so it pains me to bet on any of their players, but he had some decent value at 6.5 there. Another 1-star, and this is I was chirping Crystal Palace and chirping Jordan Ayew. I'm going back with Ayew. I think he's going to be playing up front at least as much as any other striker. He's 10.0. If he starts scoring goals and gets a run in the team, he was playing a little bit more in preseason than the other strikers. Obviously, Zaha will be up there with him, and he's the guy you got to kind of beat out if you're going to be the top scorer for this team. I think Ayew at 10.0 is worth a 1-star play, $5. Richarlison, another 1-star play. He's had a busy summer. He's not going to be back till late, but this top scorer for Everton is going to be between Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Calvert-Lewin was the heavy favorite. Richarlison's 5.0. Sometimes you just got to look at the odds, guys, and even though you don't absolutely love the play, I'm putting $5 on it because I think he could be the top scorer. Remember, he'll miss the first 1 or 2 seasons. Remember the game weeks. Jesus, he'll miss the first 1 or 2 game weeks. The season is 38 game weeks long. He can easily make up for missed time with that. And I believe, was he on penalties last year? I think he might have been. So there you go. Leicester, very similar reasoning. I've gone for Patson Daka. He's 5.0. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, he's 5.0 odds. Similar odds to Richarlison, similar reasoning. Scored a ton of goals in the Austrian Bundesliga last year. I think he starts to get into the team. I think this could be a season where the torch is kind of passed from Vardy to Daka. I know Iheanacho's up there as well, and he's good, but I think Daka is a very like-for-like replacement for Vardy. And at 5.0, I like that. For Newcastle, Alan St. Maximin, their best player is 11.0. I know Wilson's a better goal scorer, but St. Maximin kind of plays up front, plays off of him a little bit at 11.0. We're taking a 1-star on that. 1-star on all of these, by the way, since Ayew, actually since Gross, Rodriguez, Havertz, Ayew, Richarlison, Daka, St. Maximin, all 1-star plays. As is the next one. Actually, as is the next two. But for now, we've got James Ward-Prowse to be the top scorer of Southampton. Again, kind of similar to Pascal Gross. Penalties, they just lost Ings. Yes, Che Adams. Yes, maybe Adam Armstrong, who they just signed, could score some goals. But Adams wasn't really, prolific the last season there. Or even the season before that, he definitely wasn't prolific. So Ward-Prowse on set pieces, he gets 5 set piece goals, 3 open play goals at 7.0. It's worth a 1-star play. Watford, I've gone with Andre Gray, 1-star play. That rhymes. Go eat some hay. I just may. Down by the bay. Happy Gilmore. Andre Gray at 10.0. That was bad. This is the tough part about podcasting just by yourself, is that you just kind of get talking a lot. And so there you go. Not going to cut that out though, because I don't know how to edit. Andre Gray, top goal scorer for Watford, 10.0. I don't think Deeney plays as much. He's got to be getting close to the end of his career. Apparently, Yao Pedro and Sarr kind of play up front, but Gray is an out-and-out striker. Those guys are more forwards that I think they're going to have one of Deeney or Gray in the team. I think it's going to be Gray. And at 10.0, I know he doesn't have the best record in the Premier League, but worth a 1-star punt. My next one is a 3-star play. Raul Jimenez to be the top scorer for Wolves. He's 1.66, so you're not getting even odds, but that's not bad at all for Jimenez, the only guy who scores for Wolves. Very, very confident this hits. So yeah, I've got $20 and that's a 3-star play for me. Same with the next one. This is a little bit more. He isn't the only one who scores for his team, but this is Liverpool. I've gone with Mo Salah. He's 1.72. He takes the pens. He scores more from open play than any other player on that team. He's been their top team goal scorer the past, I don't know how many seasons, ever since he's been there. So I think one season he might have tied with Mane, but I mean, even if they tie, this will pay out it'll split money. So Mo Salah, 3-star play, 1.72 odds, top team goal scorer. Norwich, talked about him a bit before. Adam Ida. I think he was scoring in preseason. He was playing in preseason. I think Pookie steps back. Sargent maybe could be troublesome for him, but Adam Ida is 34.0. $5 on him pays out 170. That's a 1-star play. That is absolutely worthy of a punt. 3-star play here. When are odds makers and people going to start respecting Michail Antonio? He's still, and every year this happens, he's still plus money to be their top team goal scorer. I've got $20, 3-star play on Antonio to be the top team goal scorer. He's their guy. Everyone's like, oh, he's not really a striker at this point. Yes, I know he didn't play striker before. He is their striker. I love him. He's so fun to watch. Power, pace, finishing. He bullies defenders. Antonio is the top team goal scorer for West Ham, 2.37. Love it. Man City, tough one with all the competition for places. I've put 5 on Riyad Mahrez, 1-star play. He's 13.0. I know they've got probably better goal scorers on the team, but Mahrez has had a quiet summer as opposed to a lot of other Man City players who've been around, playing Euros, playing Olympics, playing Copa America, doing whatever. Mahrez has had a quiet summer. He really established himself on the right wing last season, and I think he plays a lot. And at 13.0, a guy who's going to be playing a lot for a team with big rotation, I think that could be enough for a top goal scorer. So there you go. That is the top team goal scorers. Those are super fun. I got 3 more quick ones. So this is a season match bet. This is which team finishes higher between 2 teams. So one of the match bets is Villa versus Wolves. And you'd think, I'm not super high on Wolves. I think Villa will be good this season, but the odds for Wolves to finish ahead of Villa are 3.5. I've put a 2-star play on that, $10. I think that I'm not huge on Wolves, but 3.5, anything can happen with these mid-table teams. Villa just lost their best player. Wolves are getting their best player back. So the fact that it's 3.5, people are sour on Wolves and high on Villa. I am going to fade that. So let's go with Wolves. Next one, Crystal Palace versus Brighton. This is a bit of a hedge for me. I've gone with Crystal Palace just because the odds are good. I think Brighton will be better, but at 3.25, anything can happen with these low teams. Really, I think pitting any one of them against each other, they're, you know, you never know what's going to happen during the season. This is a 1-star play. I don't like it as much, but it's a bit of a hedge for me in case Palace are actually good this season. I don't think they will be, and if you're going to go one side or the other, I'd prefer to bet on them to get relegated, finish bottom, all that jazz. But I think this is a decent little hedge. It's a $5 hedge for me, 1-star play, Crystal Palace to finish ahead of Brighton at 3.25. Now in the competition specials, there's a bunch of like, how many goals do you think certain players will score? At 7.0, I've put a little 1-star play on Lukaku to get 15 or fewer goals. Lukaku's going to score goals in the Prem this season for sure, but he's coming in late. Okay, his transfer just went through literally right before, maybe even as I was recording. I think it was close to the start. I saw it come up. He's going to come in late. There is a bit of competition for places, but really he's going to play. So that's not a great point by me. But again, injuries too. I know he's not injury prone, but if you do get injured and you miss 10 games, that's tough. 15 goals is a lot. It's 7.0. I'm going Lukaku under. I get to cheer against Chelsea. That's a point for me. But also the other reasons I suggested, like it's 16 goals and he's going to probably play 34 games. If he scores 1 and 2, that's still, you know, I know he knows the league, but I think an under 16 goals, I guess it would be, is a decent punt at 7.0. There we go, guys. Thank you for bearing with me through my incessant rambling. There's our first episode for Banter Bets and BPL in a long time. You'll be hearing from, hopefully, if they send me their videos, you'll be hearing from, you'll be hearing from myself with my own weekend bets. You'll be hearing from Coach Cam for sure, Keegan for sure. Sandy's always tough to get a hold of, but hopefully he has some bets as well. So I just covered you for your futures bets. If you want to place some of those, and then, you know, pick and choose which bets you want to make. There'll be 4 little podcasts with our weekend bets. And you can just rip through those. And those are going to be pretty much all business. These are my picks, a little explanation why. And we won't be interrupting each other, so it'll take a lot less time. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Yeah, get those season's futures bets in. They're a lot of fun. And again, don't bet any more than you can lose. I just put a little bit on there to make it a little bit fun. Usually end up, you know, breaking even, maybe going a little bit above, a little bit below the past few seasons, but it's fun to follow. And if you hit one of those big ones, then you feel really good about yourself. So thanks for listening, guys, and have fun watching the Premier League games. Brentford's going to beat Arsenal tomorrow. I'll have some money on that, maybe even Tony to score. So enjoy the Premier League season ahead, and thanks for listening to Banter Bets and BPL.